Hey guys, welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to show you about the configuration file of Ansible. In the last video, we have seen uh, some ad hoc commands running, and we have done one hands-on practice lab in the last video. But in this video, this will be a theoretical lecture, and I will show you some uh, things which are available in the Ansible's configuration file also. But this is not a hands-on lecture. Okay. In this video, I'm going to show you some sections which are available in Ansible's configuration file. What are the functions of these particular sections and their subsections? Okay. So just pay attention in this particular lecture so that you can get everything or every bit what's happening behind the scene, how Ansible is handling all the managed nodes and all. Okay. So let's get started without wasting any second. Okay, so what is Ansible's configuration file? Okay, but before directly jumping towards where the configuration file and why configuration file is actually required and everything. Okay, but before that, you need to know what actually Ansible's configuration file actually is. So, what do you mean by the basic term that is known as a configuration? Configuration simply means that you're configuring something. Okay, you're configuring something as per your needs or the particular software or anything, not just a software, anything which will behave as per your needs. Okay, the thing which will behave as per your needs or as per your given requirements. Okay, but but this is something which is a software. You need to configure this software as per your needs. Okay, and this software will behave exactly like which how you configure this particular software, exactly as same as I've told you before. Okay, so Ansible's configuration file is just a file by which Ansible's behavior can be modified. That's why I've written over here the behavior of Ansible behavior can be modified with this particular file. Okay, for example, you need to do something on some servers. For example, you have 5 web servers. Okay, for example, you have 5 web servers. For example, mm, the inventory file, okay, the inventory file in which all the manage hosts entries are written. You don't want to use that particular file which Ansible is using. Okay, for example, the default inventory file is this. This is a default inventory file. This is a default inventory file slash etc slash Ansible slash hosts. This is a default inventory file given by an Ansible, and this entry is available in the configuration file. But for let's say for an instance, you don't want to use this particular file. You need to use your own custom file. For example, you need to use the file which is available on. For example, you have made one particular folder. Let's say doggy slash cat slash hosts. Let's say, and you need to use this particular location, not this location. Okay, so what you can do is just edit this location in that particular configuration file. Okay, and on that place just use this particular location. This is just for an instance. Okay, or you can use -i for that. -i and your particular files location and file location. But what I've showed you here is this is for just an instance or for an example. Okay, you can use the configuration file as per your convenience or as per your needs only. Okay, so Ansible's configuration file is just to modify the behavior of Ansible. Okay, as per your convenience or as per your needs. Okay, this is just a short example. Okay, so let's jump towards the next part. Actually, there are three ways in which you can use the configuration file of Ansible. Wait a minute, Ashutosh. 3 ways? Yes. The three ways are this. The three ways. Okay. So by default, when you install the Ansible software, the configuration files location is this: /etc/ansible/ansible.cfg. Let me show you this. So I'm here. If you go to /cd/etc/ansible, list the ansible.cfg. This is the file. This is the file. Okay. So what you need to do is, this is the main configuration file of Ansible. Okay. But this is the first actually where you can configure. Although this is not recommended, I'll tell you why. But understand one thing, guys. This is the default configuration file. Default. This is a default configuration file which is provided by Ansible. This file is used. This file is used if no other configuration file is available in your system, or you have specified explicitly. Okay, I'm repeating this one more time. /etc/ansible/ansible.cfg. CFG stands for configuration. Okay, this file is a default configuration file which is provided by Ansible only. Okay, this file is used if no other configuration files are present in your system, or you haven't specified any particular configuration file explicitly. Wait a minute, boy. Explicitly, what does this mean? Okay, what does this mean is, you can use your own configurations also. Okay, you can write your own configuration, but remember one thing: the syntax should be same. Okay, the syntax should be same, or you can copy the exact same file, okay, on your desired location. For example, another way is this. This is another way. Just copy or make your own custom configuration file with the same name, ansible.cfg, but remember the syntax should be same. Okay, so what is this location? This is the home directory, as you can see, a tilde or tilde. Okay, home directory or user's personal home directory. In that particular home directory, the Ansible CFG file is present. Okay, you can use this directory or this configuration file. Okay, okay, but let's this is not a default file. This is your own custom file. Okay, so now what you need to do is, let's say for example, this particular file is present in your system, or this particular file is present in the user's home directory. Let me write it over here, in the user's home directory. User's home directory. So if this particular file is present in user's home directory, so instead of this default configuration file, instead of this configuration file, this file will be used, not this one. This one will not be used if this particular file is found by the system. Okay, I'm repeating this one more time. Okay, if this particular file tilde or home directory of the user .ansible.cfg is found in the user's home directory, then this default Ansible configuration file will not be used. The preference will be of this particular file. Okay, kind of acceptable. Okay, but there's one more thing. Okay, there's one more thing. For example, you have different. For example, you have different use cases. For example, the first use case will be, you need to configure 3 web servers. Okay, 3 web servers and 2 database servers, for let's say 2 database servers. This is the first case. This is the first use case. And in the second use case, okay, and in the second use case, you need to this is just the configuration, not any setup of, not any settling up of any application or something, anything. But in the second use case, for example, you need to deploy uh, a web application, a dynamic web application, for example, which is written in Python. You need to deploy this application on the particular web servers, for example, 3 web servers, and you need to configure the one, for example, HA proxy load balancer. Okay, and you need to configure, for example, let's say 1 DB server. Well, let's instance, this is another use case. This is just another use case. But the configurations required for this and the configurations required for this, for this instance, are different. Now, what are the configurations? We'll see in just a minute. For, let's say, the configurations required for this particular use case are different, and the configurations required for this particular use case are different, let's say. And this is the case which happens every time in case of production. So at that particular moment, this phenomena will never work. For example, you need to, for why should you configure the things again and again and again for this project, this project, for this project? This is, seriously gonna make you irritated. Obviously, anyone can be irritated. But now what you need to do is you can just make one directory. Okay, and in that particular directory, just make your own custom and configuration file of Ansible. That's completely it. The directory in which you are present, dot. Okay, the dot is hidden. Sorry, the directory in which you are present, the directory in which you are present, and in that particular directory, this configuration, if this configuration file is present, then this configuration file will be used. For example, you have 2 directories. This directory is for the directory name is for, uh, let's say just underscore configuration. Okay, the directory name is just underscore configuration, and this directory's name is for, let's say, application underscore deployment. Underscore deployment. Let's say. So both the configurations are required by these particular use cases are different. Obviously, you can make the own custom configuration file for this particular directory and this particular use case, and custom configuration file for this particular use case. So this is the more efficient way. Okay, so let's talk for preference. Okay, so let's say if this particular file is found in your directory, the user's personal Ansible configuration file or the user's home directory file will not be used. Okay, if this is not used, obviously this will never be used. Never be used. That means this is the most second highest preference. Now, why I'm saying second highest preference? There's one more thing actually. We'll see that in a bit. But if this particular file is found in your directory, then this is 100% sure. This is 100% sure that this particular file will be used. This particular file will be used. Okay, so what I was saying is that there's one more thing actually. Okay, now, but why actually we need this kind of things actually? But why we are making such a mess like this? Why we are not using just a default configuration file? Actually, in case of production, the systems or the system won't work like this. For example, I've shown you this particular use case. Okay, this use case requires some other configuration. This use case requires some other configuration. So that's why actually 99.99% cases prefer this particular this particular kind of scenario in which the configuration file is present in only in that directory. Okay, in which the Ansible command is executed. Okay, for example, the directory's name is just underscore configuration, and in this particular directory, okay, Ansible or CFG file is present, and you have written a playbook. For example, let's say configuration.yml. We'll see playbooks in the next video. Next video, sorry. Okay. configuration.yml, but uh, configuration.yml and the .cfg ansible.cfg file is present in that particular directory only. So that Ansible configuration file will be used in for this particular directory or this particular folder only. Okay, this is the most recommended way. This is the best way for different environments. For example, this require a different environment and this use case require different environment. Okay, touching the main configuration file is not recommended, actually not recommended in practice. Okay, so in case of examinations also, the Red Hat examinations of Ansible, what I've done is I haven't touched the main configuration file of Ansible. I've made one copy of that Ansible file, configuration files, and I've done everything by using that particular copy only. I haven't touched that particular original file. Okay, I made a backup. So let's jump towards something else. There's something which is known as an environment variable. Now, what is an environment variable? Instead of defining the location again and again using the default file, home directory file, or you know, or the directory, or instead of just a directory, okay, what you can do, you just use one environment variable. The environment variable is, the name of the environment variable is $Ansible underscore config. In this particular environment variable, any of the path which you define, for example, you would like to use the home directory's Ansible configuration file. In that particular environmental variable, just define that location, and every time only that configuration file will be used. So the most preferred location of configuration file is this, the environmental variable, Ansible underscore config, the name of the environment variable. And in that particular variable, whichever location you have defined, only that file will be used. Okay. So which file Ansible is using? You can check it via -v. Just use -v with any, for example, you need to write a playbook for Ansible. Let's say that's a playbook. The name of the playbook is, for example, http.yml. And you need to check which configuration file is using. Thus, you can use -v. -v. It will tell you that which configuration file has been used by Ansible. I'll show you this just in a bit. Don't worry. In this lecture only. Okay. So this is a preference or precedence. What will happen? First, it will check the environmental variable. Then the preference will be for the personal directory. Then the preference will be for the home directory, and the last preference will be for the default Ansible's configuration file. So first preference will be the environmental variable. Second preference will be this. Third preference will be this, and the fourth preference will be this, the last preference. That's why I told you the second last preference. Okay, so I hope you're getting the things. So let's jump, let's see the configuration file, how this configuration file looks, what are the sections which are really important in the configuration file, and what are the subsections which are really important. I'll show you some main sections of the configuration file which are really important. There are also important, but this is as per, all depends upon your use case actually. So I'm going to show you some sections which are really important, which you need to configure very as per your convenience. But those particular sections require kind of attention. Okay, so I'm going to show you those particular sections only. Okay, so the sections are, I'm going to write the sections over here because section किसी को याद रहते नहीं है सही में. Who will remember the name of the sections? So first I'll see and check which particular sections are important. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so let's use some regex over here. Grab. Yeah, wait. What I'm doing here? Caret. And this particular regex. etc. Ansible. Okay, very well done. So there are some sections which are important over here. Defaults is important. Inventory is not that much important. Which this is section in which you are defining an inventory file. Privilege escalation is important. Parameter connection is important. SSL connection is important, and accelerate is also kind of important. SLNX stands for security and Linux. Colors and these are not much important. The important which are is the default, privilege escalation, Paramiko connection, SSH connection, and accelerate. Sorry, SLNX is more focused towards the SLNX. And what is SLNX? SLNX stands for Security Enhanced Linux. Okay, this is many very much different concept, but this is good for security. Okay, the commands which are set as bool and set and 40 get and force are all depend upon the SLNX only. Okay, so in case of default, the most configurations, the 90% of configurations are not 90% actually, that most of the configurations are available in the default section. So let's see this. Vim slash etc slash ansible slash ansible.cog. Okay, let's go upwards and see what is the default actually. Defaults. So what I've told you this, nearly all parameters can be overridden in the Ansible playbook or the command line flags. Ansible will read ansible underscore config ansible.cfg in the current validating directory. Okay, and this is what I've showed you the preference. The first preference will be this environmental variable, comma, the ansible.cfg file in the current working directory, which I told you, .ansible.cfg in the user's home directory, which I told you, or /etc slash ansible slash configuration file, whichever it finds. Okay, so the first reference will be only for the ansible underscore config environmental variable, which I showed you. Okay, so default section is contains some kind of things, inventory, library, and all, remote temp and all. Okay, so you don't need to know everything over here. The things which you need to know, I'll show you or I'll tell you. Don't worry. Okay, so this is just the section in which it will contain most of the most of the configuration. We'll see host key checking rules, path, and inject facts as was ansible facts. What are the facts? Ansible facts. Okay, we'll see everything in the upcoming videos. Okay, if I try to answer you what are ansible facts, you will get confused. Don't worry. We'll see each and everything in this. Okay, so let's jump towards the next section. The section name is privilege escalation. I'm so sorry. Privilege escalation simply means, let's say in the very formal language, the operations which are required some escalation or escalated privileges are executed on the managed hosts. For example, you need to you use some kind of superpowers. For example, you need to use some power of the super user, that is root. That particular super user's power can be only be used in privilege escalation section, or you can configure that privilege escalation section so that you can get those powers or the powers of a super user, that is root. Okay, we'll see this. Just hold for a second. The next configurations sections are Paramiko connections, SSH connection, escalate. These are just used for optimizing the connections to the managed host. Okay, this is, I'm giving you just a high level idea. Don't worry, we'll see everything in the upcoming videos. This is just the configurations high level idea. Don't worry. Okay, don't think just कि मैं घास काट रहा हूँ, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. We'll see everything in great detail in upcoming videos when we'll see hands-on parts. Okay, so let's say Ansible first checks for which remote user to be used on a managed host. For example, there is a user that is named Ashu, ASHU, Ashu on the managed host, and the obviously the super user is root. For example, Ansible first checks that which user need to be used on the managed host. किससे हमको Ansible कमांड रन करवाना है, आशु से रन करवाना है, रूट से रन करवाना है. Okay, it checks for by which particular user we need to run the Ansible command. Okay, it can be root or any unprivileged user. Ashu is an unprivileged user over here, unprivileged. If the unprivileged Ansible, if unprivileged user is using the Ansible, okay, the Ansible should need to know whether the unprivileged user has a power to run the commands, has the power to run the commands or not. For example, in case of Linux system, this is used by sudo. Whether Ashu user or unprivileged user has the power to run the commands. If it has the power, and okay, if it don't have the power, Ansible command will fail or it will give some kind of exceptions. Okay, so what happens in this case? This is just the concept which is kind of required if you're using some configurations which require some sudo kind of powers. Okay, so by default, what happens? By default, when you use some kind of SSH keys, or when you try to connect on the managed host, for example, this is a controller node. Okay, and there's a user, the name is OS. This is a controller node, and this is another managed host, and this is another managed host. There, for example, there are two hosts. When you try to SSH or try to remotely connect on them, okay, so Ansible looks for the same user on that particular machine also. It also it expects the OS user on this particular machine also. Okay, so what I'm going to say is, by default, Ansible tries to connect to the same username on the managed node as same as on the controller node. Okay, OS here. But if you want that I don't want to run the commands by the OS user, I want to run by the root user. So there's a configuration that is known as in case of default section, the configuration's name is remote_user. For example, you need to use the root user on the particular managed host, just set it to root. By default, this is root. Okay, or you can use any other host name, or sorry, any other username. So let's see this. Okay, so in case of default, let's search for remote user, root. So all the commands on the managed host will be run by the root user. Why? Because we have done this over here. Default user to use for playbooks if the user is not specified. Okay, default user will be root. जो मैंने समझा है बस ये वही चीज यहाँ इंग्लिश में बोल रहे हैं. Okay, so this is the thing. So now, okay, remote user will be used. Now we are coming to the end of this video. Just with one last section, that is the privilege escalation, which is the most important. Okay, so Ansible might need to kind of connect to a remote host as non-privileged user, but before escalating privileges to get the administrative access as root. Hence, privilege escalation section is required actually to gain the super user access, to gain the powers, the superpowers. Okay, Ansible first enters in the managed host with unprivileged powers, but to get the powers to run the commands or the playbooks or any kind of configuration which you need to deploy, Ansible first needs some kind of powers, and that powers will be only be given if you have configured the section that is known as privilege escalation properly. So let's see the privilege escalation. Privilege escalation. privilege escalation. Now, what is a become true, become method, become root, become user, become root? Let's see this. What is this? So, become true. Okay, become true. You need to enable this particular privilege escalation section. If enable this, you need to move towards the next thing. What is the become method? Actually, how you are escalating the powers. For example, if you need if you are unprivileged user, obviously you need to use sudo. For example, you need to run a restart a service, sudo systemctl restart httpd. For another instance, sudo systemctl daemon happen reload, sudo /etc/sysconfig /iptables. Sorry, sudo vim/etc/sysconfig/iptables. So how you're getting these particular powers? By default, this is sudo. Okay, in most cases, this is sudo. How you are escalating your privileges? That's why you need to use something that is known as become method. That is sudo. Okay, and become user. Obviously, this is just obvious root. Which user to escalate to? कौन से user को आपको escalate करना है? और सबसे ज़्यादा powers, सबसे extreme the powers किसके पास होती हैं? Obviously, root. Root is the user which has unlimited powers. Okay, so बात जायज़ है. True. Just you need to enable this. Become method sudo, and which user you need to escalate to? Root. Okay. So this is just the one thing. If the become method requires user to enter a password to escalate the privileges, you can set the become ask pass equals to true. Okay, what I've said just over here. If this become method requires some kind of password or something, okay, you can just enable this thing become underscore ask underscore pass to true. Okay, then it will ask for the password and you will be escalated to the root. Okay, so this is the main configuration you need to know. Okay, I know that many of the configurations are left. Don't worry, I'll explain you each and every bit in the upcoming videos when we'll see the hands-on and the when we configure the playbooks. For example, I show you how to deploy one HTTP or one HTTP server, that means a web server on, for example, let's say 3 instances. Okay, I'll show you how to configure all the web servers on 3 instances in just one go. How you can, for example, we are configuring the SSH keys one by one, SSH copy ID and all. You can use just one playbook and the file will be copied in within just a minute and on all the hosts. For example, instance there are one host or 1,000 hosts. That completely doesn't matter. Okay, so become true. You need to enable this. Become underscore method. How you are escalating the privileges? How कैसे आप escalate कर रहे हैं? Sudo के through कर रहे हैं. Okay. Become user. कौन से user पर आप escalate करना चाहते हैं? Which user to escalate to? By default, this is obviously root. And if the become method require user to enter the password to escalate privileges, you can set the become underscore pass underscore true equals to true. Okay. So that's all for this video. I know this particular video is so long. So I'll see you in the next video. In the next video, I'll show you some more ad hoc commands. Okay, I'll show you some more ad hoc commands and one great thing. Okay, so in the next video, we'll start writing our own playbooks, that is scripts. अभी तक हम हाथ से कमांड चला रहे हैं, हम अभी हाथ से चलाएंगे, लेकिन फिर भी we'll write some kind of scripts, that is playbooks. Okay, in the next video. The next video I'll show you how to use some more ad hoc commands, for example, to make a user or just a normal kind of tasks. Okay, see you, and I hope you like this lecture. See you in the next lecture. Thank you so much. Have a great day.